Synod a little later today.
Bishops have proposed the Church maintains its ban on the ceremony. A vote against that today would signal a deep division in the organisation.
And joining us now in the studio is Paul Middleton, an expert on sexuality and the Church, and Reverend Bertrand Oliver, an openly gay vicar who's in our London newsroom. Good morning to you both, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time on this one. Paul, if we can come to you first of all, what exactly is going to happen today, and why is it such a significant meeting?
Well, the Church of England, in common with lots of churches in the country and the world, have been struggling with issues of sexuality, and particularly the place of lesbian, gay, transgender people in the Church. And over the last 3 years, the Church of England have been engaged in what they've been calling shared conversations, where they've brought together people with different views and also LGBT people themselves. And so what's going to happen today is the bishops produced a report on the basis of that to kind of take this forward. And a lot of people are a bit upset because effectively the bishops have signalled effectively no change, and some people might even say moving slightly backwards. So today Synod is going to decide whether or not to take note of the report. And the bishops have been very careful to say this isn't approving the report or dismissing the report, it's simply taking note of it. And so not to take note of it is actually quite an interesting step, and would signal that the Synod thinks that the bishops need to go back and do some more work.
OK, so there could be trouble ahead. That's probably a simple way of putting it, isn't it? And let's speak to Reverend Bertrand Oliver. You are an openly gay member of the clergy in a same-sex relationship. How does this make you feel?
Well, it's been a long journey. We've made ourselves very vulnerable for the past 2 years, openly in groups that didn't particularly want to talk to us. And when we got the report, we had high hopes. We wanted to work with the bishops in order to find a way forward and get the Church moving into the 21st century. After all, same-sex marriage is legal in this country. And the Church of England, as a national church, should be able to provide something to couples who come to us. But we realised on reading the report that, in fact, we seem to have been erased, or our views expressed in the conversations have been erased, and we're now talking about a different language of same-sex attraction, as if we are animal experiments, or you know. And although we've been present in a room, we don't feel that our views have been expressed. So we were hoping for something more, and though we are conscious that the bishops are trying to move things on, it's quite hard for us to go along, and certainly we wouldn't want to be taking note of this report because we think it's not representing at all what has been going on, and not representing fairly the divergence of views theological in the Church of England today.
Yes, I wanted to know how you feel, because is it sort of disappointment? Is it frustration?
Well, we went with, I mean, initially I think I was quite angry because you know, you put your life on the line in groups that are not sympathetic. You try to be open in order to explain what it means to be a gay priest. After all, God called me to be a priest. I didn't choose to come into this for the glory of it. It's a hard journey. It's a hard journey for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people every day of their life, and they have to come out. And the Church should be a safe space. We want to provide a safe space to all people. We want the Church to be an inclusive space. And this report does not help that at all. Notwithstanding the fact that the bishops are telling us that it's a provisional report, but it's already been trailed to the Anglican Communion as the last words by the Church of England on same-sex marriage.
Paul, how big a step would it be for the Synod to go against what the bishops are recommending on this?
Well, I think it would be unusual, but they're only being asked to take note of the report. So the bishops have been blogging all day yesterday to stress that actually taking note of the report isn't to approve the report in any way. But it's not entirely clear what would happen if Synod decided not to take note of it. I suspect it's perhaps not as big a deal as maybe people are making out. The bishops would just simply have to go back and perhaps write a report that maybe takes account of the anger that's felt on one side. And of course, this is problematic because on one side, you've got people who want to advocate full inclusion for lesbian, gay, transsexual and bisexual people. On the other hand, there are those who think that any movement in this direction is a betrayal of Christian principles and the authority of the Bible. So, you know, the bishops are between a rock and a hard place. It is very difficult for them.
How damaging is it for the Church, this kind of discussions?
Well, I guess most people in society kind of wonder why the church has got caught up in this, and it does seem strange. And it has to be said that the Church of England hasn't changed its position. It's not moving, but society is moving all around it. And it's moved so quickly in the last couple of decades that just simply by standing still, the Church of England is seen to be reactionary, and some people think they're bigoted and homophobic. But it's important to say they haven't actually moved, but by standing still, this is a problem.
And Reverend Bertrand Olivier, I just want to ask you. I know that you have. Would you like to get married in church? If, I know this is some way off. Even if today went in your favour, would you like to do that?
Well, I would like to be married in church. I entered a civil partnership 2 years ago. I think if you ask around, no one enters into a civil partnership anymore except clergy in the Church of England, which is quite a state of affairs, frankly. And we are an organisation that professes to show and share the love of God to the world. And people are looking and wondering what's going on.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to us today, Reverend Bertrand Olivier and Dr. Paul Middleton. Thank you. Thanks both.
Thanks, guys. Now, your